Welcome to Kyla Wright LPO Solutions YouTube channel.
Now, introducing for the very first time, Project Cover, Episode 1, The Law School Journey.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, Kyla Wright, and I am the owner and founder of Kyla Wright LPO Solutions. We have recently embarked on a new project called Project Cover. Now, Project Cover helps law students or legal professionals and law firms equally. Now, we're going to dive into that discussion with my super amazing guest. She's an attorney at law in the United States, particularly in the great state of Illinois, Chicago, Miss Carletta Traylor. She has been at the bar for 3 years. She has had her practice in, and now she has her own practice. I mean, she is quite phenomenal. I've worked with her. She's a Project Cover member and client herself. So I'm just super excited about this. She practices in several areas like personal injury, consumer finance, family law. She practices in civil, commercial, and criminal litigation, and just several other law and areas of law. And I'm just happy that she's here with us to grace us with her presence and her knowledge and her expertise. So help me welcome Ms. Carletta Traylor to our first episode of Project Cover, The Law School Journey. Hi, Carletta. How are you?
I am doing well, Miss Wright. Firstly, well, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I feel so loved.
Yes, you are. You are phenomenal. I know that the work that you have been doing for your community, for others around you, is just extremely amazing. I applaud you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I applaud you. You know, it's not easy to be able to open up your own LPO firm. So anything that I can do to be a part of this journey, I'm more than happy to do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you for being here for this conversation of our new project, our new initiative, Project Cover. Really is super beneficial to law students, legal professionals, and law firms overall. So I'm happy to have this discussion with you, especially being a Project Cover member and client as well. So just explain to persons how it helps with law school, even legal professionals, how it can help them transition into the legal space as well, and for law firms as well in terms of their business operations.
This is very, very exciting. I'm just very happy to be here. And do I need to jump right in?
Yeah, because we want to just go through and ask you a few questions about your journey through law school and post law school as well, how you transition, everything of the sort. All right, so our first topic really handles really or deals with our focuses on pre-law school journey and the project cover itself. So I'm excited for that. So first, what inspired you to pursue a career in law?
Sure. Well, I would definitely say growing up, my grandparents raised me. And even though, we were well taken care of, we did grow up in a slightly disadvantaged neighborhood. I would say, so I definitely saw a lot of injustice, particularly individuals in the labor and employment law realm. So many individuals were being unceremoniously fired for reasons, whatever the reason may be. They were unable to procure work. They were unable to be able to pay their bills, take care of their families, put food on the table. And it just seemed like no matter what they tried to do, and no matter how many different avenues they tried to go, they weren't able to find work. They couldn't take care of themselves. Their families were suffering, their children were suffering. And unfortunately, with the way things are nowadays, when a person can't find work and money, the right way, they unfortunately will go to less than right means to be able to take care of themselves and put food on the table. So for me, I just didn't understand why intelligent, hardworking, diligent individuals were out of work, couldn't take care of themselves, couldn't provide for their families, and it just seemed like nothing was being done to assist. So, I believe that the seed was planted early on, about going into law, about how can I help change the laws? How can I help change the landscape of what I'm seeing right now so that people, their rights aren't being violated, their civil rights aren't being violated, so that they can be in a position to be able to take care of themselves. Like that was very early on. I might have been anywhere between 8, 10 years old, when I initially saw that. But I felt like that was the beginning stages of the Lord leading me into the law field. As I got older, particularly high school and college, I saw it even more so on a much grander scale. I saw a lot of individuals, that's everyone, from, men, women, rich, poor, from every race, every nationality, every background, every language. I'm just seeing so much injustice. People's voices being taken from them, their rights being violated, their civil rights being violated, not being able to take care of themselves. And I say, you know what, this is a problem. Like, particularly here in
Yeah.
America, we refer to ourselves as the land of the free, the home of the brave. This idea of, if you come to America, you work hard, you can do whatever. We've even, sold this American dream, this idea that you can have your big house with a white picket fence and the family and the dog. But it's like, but what about in situations where that's not the case? What about in situations where people are doing everything that they can to procure their piece of the pie, if you will, but they're still not able to get the
Yeah.
resources and the help that they need? So for me, I just really wanted to be a part of something to be able to help right those wrongs, to help the underserved, help the undermarginalized, help the ignored, to be able to have adequate legal representation. And that really is what led me into going into law firm and just becoming a lawyer in general.
Wow. Amazing. And I'm touched by that. I'm always rooting for persons in the legal field who have such a passion of helping people, because there are many reasons why people get into law. Some can be just for ego, for
Yes.
status, for money. But when you're truly led to do something, when you're truly called to do something, when you truly have the purpose of being something, it has a different experience overall for you. And because God allowed you to have that experience growing up, you were able to see firsthand the injustice and feel what the people are feeling, those around you, right? And even in your country, just on a larger scale. And so because of that, it led you to be that passionate up to helping people, and that is extremely just commendable. I love seeing that in people when they're in law. It really makes a difference. I always say I look at law just like medicine. You have people's life in your hand.
Yes.
You literally have people's life in your hand, and it may not be something in the body that is affecting him, and sometimes it is, because like personal injuries,
Oh, yes. Sometimes
right?
it definitely is.
Sometimes it is, right? And then sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a different type of injustice that happen, right? And it's important that you have somebody there to speak on their behalf, somebody that can say, hey, take their matter serious, as though a doctor would take a person's life serious, and defend them to the best of their ability, and using and understanding the law to the full force so that they can get justice for their situation. So that is extremely important. So I applaud you,
Thank
Carletta, for
you.
taking the step and just being a part of the legal field and making a difference in the legal space.
Oh, thank you. And that's a perfect analogy as well. It is because we are like we're the medicine of law, if you will, as you said, because particularly in my personal injury case, sometimes you do have individuals with physical injuries, physical calamities who are trying to be recompensed, for the wrongs that have been done to them. But many times, it's more, it can be a mental injury, an emotional injury, psychological injury. So I love being in the position to be able to help people. I always tell my clients, when I speak to them, particularly on initial consultations, I'm here to alleviate that pressure, alleviate that stress. Because if I'm not in a position where I can relieve your stress and make you feel better than you did before a consultation, I haven't done my job properly.
Exactly. I love that. I'm just amazed by your passion to help people. I just think that the legal field need more lawyers and more legal professionals like that. Like, I don't know, just don't get into law if you're not in it to help people,
Exactly.
because you literally have people's life in your hand.
That is so true.
Don't get into it if you're not going to defend them, if you're not going to actually really handle their matter as though it's a life and death type of situation. Don't get into it. It's really a type of calling that is needed to help people maneuver through their situation, right? Through their circumstances. So I will say, be purposeful, have that calling on your life to do law. Don't get into it for money or status or just for ego. Don't.
Definitely.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't.
So go ahead.
And I especially say, especially when you just think about, like the time it takes, not only just taking the LSAT, preparing for the bar exam, going through law school. I mean, it's a lot of work. So I always say, like, never go into law unless you love the law. Because for me, like, that's one thing as an attorney, as myself, if I didn't love the law and I didn't enjoy what I do, that there would be many times I'd be like, you know what, this is a lot of work. This is overwhelming. I don't know if I want to do this anymore, but it's the love of the law and the love of people and wanting to help people that keeps me going every day.
And I'm happy that you made that point, because not a lot of people understand that being a part of the legal field requires for you to actually care about people, to love
Definitely.
people. A lot of it have to do with customer service as well, how
Definitely.
you treat people, because and then that's how you build clientele, because how are people going to trust you and say, okay, because they're literally coming, just like how they'll go to a doctor. I'm coming to you with a problem in my life for certain situations. I'm coming to you with a problem in my life, and I want to trust you as my lawyer to really help me through this situation. And so you want to ensure that you're a people person, that you love people, to be able to help that person and say, okay, I understand, I empathize with you. All of these situations, you have to have that love and care of people. I've worked 9 to 5 in legal environments, law firms, and I've met lawyers who are not people, are very friendly. They're not that type of people. They don't have that customer service side.
Oh,
And because of that, a lot of times clients go through the door.
absolutely.
They go through the door because they're looking at their situation as very important, as a life and death situation, and they are entrusted you to take it as serious as how they take it.
Absolutely. That's the thing I
Right?
always say. Like, you have to be client centric. You have to be client centric. You have to be customer centric. Like, anytime you speak with an individual, whether it's an initial consultation or an ongoing relationship, you have to make that client feel like he or she is the most important person in the world. At the end of the day,
Exactly.
they've come to you with a legal matter. They're vulnerable. They're susceptible to all these different emotions and different things going on. If you don't make them feel like they're the most important thing at that moment in time and that they matter to you, like, you will not retain the relationship.
Exactly. You have to take people's lives seriously. When you're going into law, take people's lives seriously. And it's not
Definitely.
just human rights violation that we're talking about, or personal injury, but even if it's like a merger and acquisition type of thing that you're doing, your clients are trusting you to represent them well to the best of your ability. They're not expecting you to be lazy and to just sit down on their matter or sit down on their case and not take seriously. Okay, I'll review this when and at another time. I can't be bothered. I'm too busy. I have the status as an attorney. I really don't care. I'll get back to that when I can. No, take it seriously. Their business, the whole merger and acquisition, people starting a company, registering a company, is because they want to feed their family. They want to do this, they want to do that. It is important that you take what they are presenting to you and take it as though it's your life. So you
Exactly.
have to have that type of understanding and care and empathize with them, whether it's a personal injury matter, a human rights violation, or it can be on more on the commercial side. Still take people's case seriously.
Exactly. You have to put yourself in their shoes. Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. You mentioned about empathy. This idea of like putting myself in your shoes, understanding what you're going through, or trying to the best of my ability to understand if I were in your shoes and you were in mine, how would I want to be treated? How would I want my attorney to act? How would I want my attorney to react? How urgently would I want my attorney to act in light of my situation? So I feel like a lot of times, and I've definitely seen it, myself, for various firms I've worked for, and just being in the legal field in general. You do have attorneys who, don't get me wrong, can be brilliant attorneys, can be brilliant attorneys, have a very good track record, but they're not people. They're not people. They don't know how to truly make you feel like you're the most important person in the room. They're not very personable. They're not very client centric. And it's not that they're intentionally trying to be. They just, it's just not naturally ingrained in their character.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head with that one. So, and that's why it's important to be led to do law. You have
Definitely.
to have that passion. Like, I know this is why I'm here on this earth, to do this.
This is my God-given
I'm
purpose.
called to do this.
Yes,
Exactly. I'm
exactly.
called to do this. I am meant to do this.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was a very good conversation for the first
I
question, but
agree.
it was it was very needed. So I'm going to go to the second question. Can you share your undergraduate? One moment, I'm so sorry.
Sure.
Right, can you share your undergraduate experience and how it prepared you for law school?
Sure. So for undergrad, I attended a college called Smith College that is in the United States in Northampton, Massachusetts. It was actually a wonderful opportunity. Now, one thing, it's actually an all-girls school. Like, one thing, going into high school, I'm a huge sports fan. I love sports. I especially love football. So I'm thinking, oh, I want to go to a co-ed school. I'm looking forward to going to the football games and the homecoming rallies and all these different things. But then lo and behold, this school comes along. Like Smith College is a very prestigious school, very well known in the States. A lot of, prominent women have graduated from this school. So I did some research on the school, and they had what was known as a discovery weekend, which is basically meant on one weekend. It was summertime during April during my junior year. I was actually able to visit the school. I was actually able to spend a weekend there, like stay in the room of one of the sophomores. I was able to actually essentially shadow this individual, for the entire weekend. I was able to go to the classes, meet some of the students, meet some of the teachers, go to the cafeteria, see some of the different events and things that they had going on. I was hooked. Like I was hooked. It was a wonderful environment, and I definitely do not regret my time there. It was a wonderful school, wonderful institution. I received a wonderful education. And one thing that I will say, particularly how undergraduate helped prepare me, to becoming a lawyer. Every class that I was in, it didn't matter if it was a math class, a science class, a social studies class, whatever the class was, every teacher incorporated the law in some way, shape, or form into their curriculum. Like I can recall, I remember particularly I had a class, that was called the intersectionality between race, politics, and government. And I remember like my teacher, and he would always, every single day, he would always incorporate and re-emphasize the injustice that we're seeing in our country. And not only in terms of just minorities, women, the disabled, the elderly, but across the board, it didn't matter if you were white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, or anything in between. I mean, we're seeing it across the board. People's rights being violated, their civil rights being violated, their voice being taken away from them, their money, their means, their livelihood being stripped. And it just seemingly like the people that are supposed to help them are the very ones taking away from them. So we were really exposed to just how unfair not only America can be, but the world at large can be. And we really pinpointed, you're not just here to graduate, just to get a degree or just to get a job. No, you're here to make a positive impact in this world and like change lives for the better so that way future generations, don't continue to go through what we're currently going through right now and what your ancestors went through in the past. So for me, I really feel like the combination of growing up, and just seeing that injustice and that being ingrained in us from every single one of my college professors really taught me I need to fight injustice. I need to fight these wrongs. I need to fight the good fight of faith and actually help people. And that, I feel like everything, the seed was planted when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. So I feel like that plant just continued to grow and grow and grow to the point where once I was in college, like it wasn't even a question. I knew for a fact I was going to law school.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Love that. Love that. And what factors did you consider when choosing a law school?
Sure. So for me, well, definitely I did my research on the school. Like one thing I always like to research the what programs they offer, the areas of the law that they're most known for, their graduation rate, their employment rate, particularly of like graduates, how many percentage of law students procure employment within 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, the types of fields. I actually like to speak with, current and former students of the school to get a better sense of, did you enjoy your experience? What did you like? What did you not like? I also looked at the environment, the area that it was in. Because at the time, particularly, I was in Chicago, I was taking care of my mother and my grandparents. So I did want to go to a school closer to home to be in a better position to still be able to go home, see them, take care of them. Also, the pricing, because that's one thing, particularly, I'm not sure if the same applies in Jamaica, but I know here in America, undergraduate, there are a lot of programs, a lot of scholarships, a lot of things to be able to help students, promising students to be able to go to undergraduate, but it's not necessarily the same when you go to graduate school, whether it be law school, medical school, any sort of graduate program. Now, there are programs available, there are certain grants, there are certain scholarships, but it's not in the same amount and certainly not to the same degree as an undergrad. So for me, I definitely was looking at pricing because, I wanted to go to law school, but I wasn't necessarily rich. I didn't have a lot of money. My family at the time didn't have a lot of money. So I definitely wanted to go to a school where I could either afford it out of pocket or be able to receive enough grants and financial aid to be able to afford my time there. So I think like all of that in combination definitely led me to my eventual law school choice, which was DePaul University College of Law.
Oh, nice. Nice. Love that. Okay. And how did you prepare for the LSAT and what advice would you give to future test takers? I think we had a previous conversation before this about Suits and Rachel having a challenging time of taking the test, but I'll let you go ahead
Yes.
and answer that question. Go ahead.
Yes, so I do recall. So I remember I actually used an online preparation course called Kaplan, and that was a preparation course that I used to prepare for the LSAT. It was actually really good. Like it was treated like a job.
It's called Kaplan.
Yes, it is called a Kaplan, and that is a Kaplan,
Okay.
Kaplan.
So persons, you can make a note of that, and they're still in existence now.
Correct. Yes, they are still in existence, and they offer assistance for the LSAT, but they also prepare, bar prep, across the states, all 50 states. So they're a very good, very useful tool to use, when preparing for the LSAT or for the bar exam. It's definitely very helpful for both. But I do recall, so I had signed up for their online preparation course. And I remember it was a 10 to 12 week program. It was a Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You essentially treated it like a job where we had an online instructor, like every day, if I recall, the classes were maybe like 2.5, 3 hours long. Each day we had a certain like subset of assignments that we had to complete. We had quizzes, we had essays, we had tests, it was all under actual questions from actual past tests under actual time conditions. We would go over it, we would review it. I feel like it was really good and very beneficial to me because one thing with me, like all throughout my time in school, like I love to learn. I was very studious. I did well in school, but I did struggle with tests. Like I was never the best test taker, but it's more so everything else in combination with my tests, I was still able to get a good grade, even though, I just wasn't, it's not that I didn't know the material, I didn't understand the material, I just wasn't good with tests. So I do feel like one thing with Kaplan, it definitely, helped me to feel more comfortable taking tests in a time setting, being able to get through everything, understanding the questions, knowing how to efficiently and concisely answer a question where it's correct and be able to move on to the next question. So I definitely feel that not only did it help me to do well on the LSAT, but it definitely helped me in terms of preparing for the bar exam, preparing, for my tests in law school, and preparing for just my tests in general from that point on.
Okay, nice. Love that. So, as Carletta mentioned, you really don't need to be embarrassed about not being a good test taker because all of that can come through practice. It can be overcome through practice.
Definitely.
And dive a bit more into project cover in our other questions. So I know persons are waiting just to hear how does project cover actually benefit an individual. So Carletta, as a project cover member and client, what do you think are the biggest challenges attorneys today, and how can project cover address these challenges?
Sure. I think one thing, especially myself, I'm a still fairly new attorney. I've been practicing, for 3 years. I operate my own law practice. So one thing I would definitely say from my own experience is attorneys, sometimes we don't really understand how much work actually goes into being an attorney. It doesn't matter if you operate your own firm, if you work under someone else, we don't fully understand all the work that actually goes into being a lawyer until you're actually in the midst of actually being a lawyer. And that's everything from understanding, client communication, client interactions, how to prioritize deadlines and assignments, how to do research, how to draft, how to prepare, to go to a court case, or how to prepare for a deposition, how to prepare for a trial. It's oftentimes, we don't really understand that and get that experience in law school. Like you may have law review, you may have moot court. We'll certainly have, different things. We get like a bit of a preview, if you will, of like certain things that you're going to encounter, but we don't really get that hands-on experience of what it actually means to be an attorney until we're actually in the field, whether it be working internships, externships, clerkships, or an actual job, whether before law school, during law school, after law school. So I definitely feel that Project Cover does a really good job. Number one, in terms of law students, firstly, mentorship. You can be partnered, if you would, like, with an attorney who's been practicing, for a certain number of years, and particularly in the area of the law that you're thinking about going into or you're interested in or may want to pursue. And it's good to have someone who's already in the field who knows how things go on a day-to-day basis to be able to give you that insight, like, hey, just in case you want to go, for example, you want to be a family lawyer, here's what a typical day looks like. Here are the type of cases you're going to deal with. Here's like the time requirement. Here's how you deal with the client aspect of the job. So it's really important for law students to have that mentorship to better understand how to actually be an attorney. But also, it also helps with the interviewing. They have, one thing, and one thing I definitely say, with me personally, this is one thing I wish I would have had, like as a law student, like going into interviews, like understanding how to interview, how to answer questions, how to articulate yourself in a way where you're directly answering, the interviewer's questions, but not oversharing or undersharing. So I feel like having something like that is extremely important to be able to help law students to be able to get that job, get that position, to be able to work their way up. And also the same applies for young attorneys, newly licensed attorneys. I put myself in this category, particularly if you work for someone else, you may be in line for a promotion. You may want to apply for a promotion. Like those interviewing skills can certainly help you to be able to get that promotion, get that raise. And I feel like for everyone, law students, young attorneys, even more experienced attorneys, networking. The one thing about Project Cover, it offers a very vast networking network of, you can get in contact with numerous attorneys on a daily basis, around the clock, every month. And I feel like one thing with me, I remember from law school, day one, they like grilled it into our heads, networking, the importance of networking, talking to people, going to events, because that is how you get your name out there. That's how you make connections with people. That's how you're able to encounter those individuals who can help you to get that first internship, help you to get that first clerkship, help you to get that job, help you to get that raise and beyond. So I do think that project cover is indispensable in helping not only law students, but also seasoned and not so seasoned attorneys to understand that the metrics of networking, connecting with people, whether it be to help you get an interview, to help you get your first job, to help you get a promotion, to help you to expand out, even for your more experienced attorneys. Some attorneys that they've been practicing, they may, be debating whether or not they may want to retire, or maybe they just don't necessarily want to work a 40-hour work week or a 9 to 5 anymore. The networking that helps them to connect with people who may be looking for, a part-time attorney or enough counsel attorney. So I definitely think it's very beneficial to all groups involved.
Wow, I couldn't say it any better. That is just overall project cover, really. I mean, there's just a little bit more to project cover for the law firms. But I mean, particularly for this question, Carletta, I know you touched on the law students and the young attorneys, and all of what you said is true. And this is how project cover really benefits them. So you couldn't have said it any better. I'll leave it there. And what you'll see now is a clip of project cover explained in a more detailed way, a more detailed fashion. And so you'll have it's just a very short skit, just fun and an exciting video to show you and explain to you what project cover really does for law students, legal professionals, and law firms as well. So you guys can watch that. Don't forget to share this video, share it to a law student, share it to a legal professional, a paralegal, legal secretary, share it to an attorney, a young or junior associate, share it. Right? And don't forget to subscribe. Turn on that notification bell, because we are going to be coming up a lot more with project cover. A lot of things, a lot of exciting, juicy things concerning project cover and how it can benefit you. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this video.
Hi, what's up? God, sister, my cutter right now, because me need some serious help. I need divine intervention, because why somebody never come whisper in my ears and tell me that law school was going to be this stressful. Like, imagine I literally just started the other day, and I'm literally so stressed out. Like, oh my gosh, imagine year one not even done yet, it's just started and I'm this stressed. What is going to happen to me when I finish law school 5 years from now? Like, I am literally so stressed. The theory is not making any sense whatsoever. I need somebody to help me. So, sister, please help me. Because me need help. Me need help right now. Like, right now. So, please help me. Because me know say you're more experienced than me. So, help me right now. Please. I beg. Girl, I totally understand where you're coming from, But you know that you're very lucky, because I know about this project by Kyla Wright LPO Solutions, known as Project Cover, a life-changing initiative for law students just like you. So you're very lucky. You have a really, really great opportunity here through Project Cover. Well, this Project Cover thing, you don't sound too bad. But you can just tell me more about it, please, because I want to understand it more. Because right now, me stressed out, and if I can get something to help me, and better prepare me for this future ahead of me, that literally just started, and I'm literally going crazy, that would be great. And that would be really great. So, sister, please tell me more. Please, I beg. Of course, it would be my absolute pleasure to tell you more about Project Cover. So you told me that you're worried about what your future will look like 5 years down the line. What if I told you that with Project Cover, you don't need to worry about anything, because Project Cover has got your future covered. So Project Cover is offering you a vast number of opportunities. So one, you'll be able to work on site in law firms, gaining hands-on experience even while you're in college studying law. This means that through gaining the hands-on experience, it will not only prepare you for your legal career, but it will also help you to understand what you're learning in the classroom. Isn't that amazing? Coupled with that, you will be getting training and mentorship from experienced attorneys, making you even more prepared to confidently step into your legal career. And guess what? Seeing that you have just started law school, you get to earn while you learn, doing what you are learning in a practical manner, which will help you to better understand what you're learning in the classroom, and you get to earn finances to help pay for those huge tuition fees of yours. So on the girl, you tell me say I can get job opportunities, mentorship opportunities from attorneys themselves, and me get to learn and earn at the same time because me can do this meanwhile me at college and earn some money to pay these huge tuitions. Like what? Like for real, this is for real, this is legit. Like what? And I get to basically practice law meanwhile I'm studying law. Like what? That is going to help me a lot because I'm telling you, these case studies and these assignments are crazy, are absolutely crazy. And so if I get to do this hands-on experience as you stated through Project Cover, then that would be really great. That would be really great. So yeah, sign me up. More sign up like right now because I am stressed out, and if I can get this opportunity to benefit my future, that would be really great. So give me the link, give me everything, give me all the materials, everything. Sign me up right now. More sign up right now. Thank you so much, sister. You have no idea how much it helped me because me don't know what my future would look like 5 years from now if I never for you that introduced me to this Project Cover thing. So thank you so much. God bless you. Okay, great. I am telling you, sister, that Project Cover will change your life forever. Click below to sign up for Project Cover today, and I promise you that your future legal career will thank you.
Right, so that was an amazing video, and I think it really explains a lot about Project Cover. So now we're back with Carletta to answer more questions about Project Cover, the law school journey, just all exciting stuff. All right, so Carletta, you ready again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. How does Project Cover, in partnership with law firms, help support law students in their career development and transition to practice?
A huge part, I look at it in a couple of different ways. But number one, the mentorship. As a law student, I think it's imperative that you have someone in the field who's already practicing to give you that insight. Here's what it looks like once you take the bar, once you pass the bar, once you become a first-year attorney, once you've been in practice for a couple of years. Here's what it looks like in terms of the type of work you're going to do, the type of issues that may arise, problem-solving skills, how to deal with different individuals, whether it be your clients, whether it be opposing counsel, whether it be a judge. So I do think that it's beneficial to have someone who's already practicing, who's a little farther along than you are, especially as you make that transition, to give you a heads up on an inside look, if you will, as to here's what it's going to look like as a first-year attorney. But also in terms of the interviewing, it's a great opportunity with the interviewing skills to say, like, okay, so once I've taken the bar exam, once I'm on the verge of graduating, now I'm looking for my first job, I know how to conduct myself, how to prepare for an interview, how to prepare myself to make myself the best candidate for the job, for the position, whatever that may be. So I definitely think it's imperative to have that combination of the networking, the mentorship, and the interview preparation skills to make yourself not only the best client for the job, but to give yourself the best opportunity to flourish once you become a first-year attorney.
Exactly. Which is quite so. The experience overall is helpful. The mentorship aspect of it is super important. And then Project Cover allows for networking. So continuous networking, because I realize that you mentioned that once you guys get to law school, they always mention network.
Yes.
And that's so true. And that's why when we started Project Cover, we realized how important networking is, because the truth is, especially coming from a Jamaican standpoint, the unemployment rate is terrible.
Yes, it's not much better in America. It's quite staggering.
So it's not the best. And because of that, we really looked at Project Cover to help in that regard. So for persons not to be at home just sending out applications, but to be able to network, have speed networking, virtual speed networking. Project Cover allows for virtual speed networking every month for you to network with a law firm, with an attorney. So that is a juicy part of Project Cover that I know a lot of law students will be very interested in.
I concur.
Right. So on to the next question. What benefits do you think Project Cover can offer to law firms, and how can we work together to support the next generation of lawyers?
Sure. Well, definitely as far as how Project Cover can assist law firms, number one, I consider it life insurance for lawyers. That's really what it is, because we know life happens. an attorney could get sick, someone may retire, someone may resign, for whatever reason, someone may be terminated, whether it be an attorney, a law clerk, a legal assistant, a paralegal, a front desk receptionist, whatever the case may be. Situations arise where someone may not be in a position to fill a position and you need help. Because time doesn't stop, work doesn't stop, business doesn't stop because someone's not there. So it's imperative to have something like Project Cover to be able to interview, bringing people with the skills set, the expertise, whether it be an associate attorney to help with a trial, whether it be a legal assistant or a law clerk to help with, various client matters, whether it be a front desk receptionist to be able to do initial client intakes, whatever the case may be. It's important to be able to have a system in place, such as Project Cover, to be able to help fill the gaps when life happens, when unexpected takes place. Because one thing, I can say from practicing as attorney for 3 years, and especially since opening my own practice, things get busy. You have a lot of work to do. You have deadlines that you have to meet, and someone not being there, but that doesn't mean that the work still doesn't have to be done. That doesn't mean that the deadlines don't still have to be made, and it can be overwhelming at times. So just to be able to have something like Project Cover to be able to provide that additional assistance, just to be able to get things done, meet deadlines, and to be able to focus on what really matters most, winning cases and getting favorable results for your clients. I mean, I think Project Cover is a godsend. It's truly a godsend. And for me, you and I both, sharing faith and belief in Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior, like I thank God every single day because this is truly an answered prayer.
Oh, thank you. Amen. Amen. And yes, and we do share the same faith. And one thing with us is that we do respect just people overall. So, persons would be on here like, oh, they're Christians, we want to hop off. But I've worked with Muslim and just people of different culture and religion. And what is really the main thing in that relationship is respect.
Definitely.
Just respect. And one thing our religion teaches us is love. So irrespective of somebody else, it's not to divert in the conversation here, but just to point that out. Because I know persons get a little fickle when, persons express it, especially when it comes on to Christianity. When it's any other religion, sometimes people are like, okay,
yeah. It's definitely across the board. It's definitely across the board. Yes, with Christianity, yes, we definitely have our fair share. Yes, we do.
So you're like, oh, they're Christians, let's hop off. But the thing is, I've worked with Muslim. I've assisted in legal cases when it comes on to other religion and people of other religion. And we have just so much care for each other and respect and love, right? And that should be the greatest of all, love. And that's what our religion preaches as well. Love.
Absolutely. And as a lawyer, that's one thing, as you say, you always want to make your client feel like the most important person in the room, regardless of their background, their religion, where they come from, what they're going through. At the end of the day, we're here to help people. We're here to serve people. And we're here to show the love, that the Lord shows us. We're here to show the love that we want other people to show to us in return. So at the end of the day, if you have love as the centerpiece of what you do, good things happen.
Exactly. I totally concur. All right. What advice would you give to law students and young attorneys looking to get involved with Project Cover and take advantage of its resources and opportunities?
Sure. I think I'll definitely start with law students. Well, advice that I would give, like number one, I would emphasize this is a great tool for several reasons. Number one, the networking. Law students, I know you've heard it a million times before from every professor that you've ever had, but I will say it again. As a practicing attorney, networking is imperative. Like that is your key to get your foot in the door, to help you with an internship, with an externship, clerkships, to get that first job, to get that promotion, to be able to expand your horizons and spread your wings. So I feel that number one, I would 100% take advantage of Project Cover's resources. Number one, for networking, to be able to speak with attorneys who have been practicing for an extended period of time that can really help you to understand how to navigate the particular area of law that you want to go into, but just to also just better help you understand what it means to be an attorney, what it looks like, and how to best prepare yourself. But also, and this is referring to the law students, also just in terms of the mentorship, the interviewing skills. Like that's one thing. Like this is one thing I really do wish I would have had, growing up. Like thankfully, I did have a mentor. But it's like, it's good to be able to have, that constant, network of different individuals who have all gone through the same thing, who have all delved into the same process of like how to interview, how to get the job, how to sell yourself as the best candidate for the position such that you're able to get that job, you're able to prove yourself and reach your fullest potential. So I would definitely say, especially in terms of the mentorship, in terms of the being able to network, in terms of the interviewing capabilities, but then also just in terms of the cost. I mean, one thing I can say, as a law student, a lot of us, we have undergraduate debt. We may have families, we may have children. So being able to do something like that and to be able to get the help and the resources that we need for a fraction of the cost, that is imperative. So I would definitely take advantage of all the resources that Project Cover has to offer because it will help make your transition from law student to attorney much easier. Now, in relation to the young attorneys, I definitely put myself in the same category as a young attorney myself. Equally speaking, it's important, especially regardless of whether or not you operate your own law firm, or you work within the context of under someone else, it's important to similarly to network with more experienced attorneys who have been practicing much longer than you've been practicing, who can better navigate how to deal with certain cases, certain clients, different issues that may arise, different problems that may arise, but also just in terms of mentorship. Because at the end of the day, one thing that, is not necessarily discussed as often as it should be in the legal field is mental health. Like mental health, is a huge and growing problem in the legal field, especially among lawyers. And I would assume that would likely be the same in Jamaica as well. So one thing so I would definitely say that it's important to be able to have someone who can help not only just navigate the day-to-day operations, but also how to deal with the stress, how to deal with, competing priorities, how to deal with, competing clients, competing personalities among clients, just to be able to effectively perform your job and not burn out. To not burn out, to stay fresh, to stay invigorated, like waking up every day, wanting to practice law, wanting to help people, wanting to solve problems. So I do think that Project Cover does an excellent job for young attorneys of not only giving us the tools and the resources through the mentorship, through the advertising, but also in terms of the cost, making it cheaper because we know, law is expensive. We know law school is expensive. Paying down law school debt is expensive. So being able to get a break as far as how much you may pay going through someone else or through a different company, a different organization, I mean, that's huge. And that helps relieve some of that stress. That helps to improve our mental health, not having to worry about, oh, I need that help. I need these resources, but I can't afford it. But then also in terms of like the law firm setting itself, I'll just reiterate, life happens, things come up, where someone may not be there, but it's great to have someone, in your back pocket who can help you and to be able to bring people in, whether it be for a short period of time, whether it be for a more extended period of time, maybe in some situations, maybe even on a permanent basis, to bring people in to be able to help get the work done, help things going, help keep things moving forward. Because one thing, we've all been there, especially as a practicing attorney, we've all had those days. We've had to pull all-nighters. We've had competing deadlines. We weren't sure how things were going to get done. Sometimes you may want to try to get extension from a judge, which you may or may not get depending on the circumstances of the case. So it's imperative to have something like this just to not run the risk of things falling through the cracks, missing deadlines, or cases being lost because, of something simple as, administratively just not having, the hands and the tools and the expertise to get everything done.
That was all the resources and opportunities that Project Cover offers to law students, young attorneys, and even law firms. So it's pretty exciting stuff. You don't want to miss it, and you can sign up for Project Cover. In the description below, we will leave the Project Cover application for law students or legal professionals and for law firms as well. So you can access that form below. All right, so some other questions from Miss Traylor here, and a phenomenal attorney. I'm just amazed by her work and just the attorney that she is. So
much. I do feel love.
So let's get into our other questions about Project Cover, the law school experience, because a lot of people are on it to really find out about the law school experience as well and what Project Cover can offer. So both hand in hand, so they're here to understand that. So sorry for my background noise, people. What were some of the most challenging aspects of law school and how did you overcome them?
Sure. Well, I think for me, which ties into a little bit of what I previously mentioned about not being the best test taker. I think one thing for me is when you take a law school test, it's not quite the same as taking a test at the elementary level, at the high school, or even at the college level. Because one thing, when you receive a grade for an assignment at a high school, college, elementary level, it's based purely on how many questions you get right, how many you answer correctly. If you have a 100-question test, however many answers that you correctly answered, that's your score. Now, the difference between that and law school, they have what's known as the Socratic method, which essentially means everything's graded on a curve, which means even if you, for example, let's say you took a test, it's a 100 multiple question test, and let's say you receive a 95% on the test, even though in theory, 95%, that's an A, if every other, let's say half of the students get a 95%, and let's say half the students get 100%, well, because of the curving structure, instead of your grade being an A, it may end up being like a B plus or a B because it's being graded on a curve. So it's a situation where was definitely a situation where it was a bit difficult for me, like navigating like how to manage, the struggles I had taking tests. I worked very slowly. I was a very slow test taker, so speed was quite an issue for me, throughout my law school career, but definitely in terms of how to navigate getting things done in a timely fashion, such that I can not only get a good individual score, but also to be able to get a good score in comparison to everyone else, so that my grades reflect, the hard work that I've put into whatever it is that I'm doing. So I definitely think that was a big challenge for me, is adjusting.
Okay, and I think that's super helpful to other students and just persons who want to pursue law as well. So I think that was an amazing way to let persons know that what they need to look out for. And so just some of the, sorry guys, some of the nuances that can arise in terms of just not being aware of the way in which you're graded. So that complexity, that type of grading style, so it's important that persons have that understanding from now, so they have an expectation of what they're getting into and how they can maneuver through it, because as you mentioned, that platform that allows you to practice, to take tests and all of those things, it's very helpful. So now persons understand that, hey, this is a grading style, and if you do have issues with taking tests, you do have a platform that can assist you with that. And Project Cover as well assist in terms of preparing you practically for it as well. And through mentorship, you're able to feel more comfortable in approaching these tests as well. And Carletta is an amazing figure for that as well, because she is a Project Cover member, a Project Cover client. And so herself, even just mentoring others and other young lawyers and law students and persons that want to pursue a career in law, she's a go-to person, I would say, as well, just for you to understand how to take tests and certain things that you need to do as well, and to understand. So I'm happy that you made that point for everybody.
Thank you. But yes, no, but it's always good. I always say, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable, especially when it comes to like if your vulnerability is going to help someone else and empower someone else to understand that, what, if that person did it, I can do it as well. I'm an open book when it comes to that.
Yeah. So see, and so you have someone here on board already. So in the networking session, you know that Carletta, God's willing, will be here on the networking session as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
You are able to network with her. She has her own practice as well. So market yourself. She's a part of mentoring individuals as well. She loves laws and for others who want to pursue law. So thank you for that, Carletta.
Oh, yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
And all right, so can you share a memorable experience or lesson learned during law school?
Wow, where do I begin? I would definitely say one particular month. I actually would say I recall I was in my civil procedure class, and I remember my professor, his name was Mark Moeller, wonderful teacher, wonderful instructor. We had a running joke like he would come to class every day with a coffee in one hand and a Mountain Dew in the other hand. We just thought like, it's just like, oh my goodness, how is he surviving on so much caffeine on a daily basis? But one thing about him, he is a brilliant professor. I remember it was earlier on in the school year. This is my 1L year, my first year of law school, civil procedure. And I remember very distinctly, I remember Mr. Mueller said, at the end of the day, you're only going to get out of law school what you put into it. He said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you performed in high school. It doesn't matter how you performed in college. Doesn't even matter how you performed on the LSAT to get into this school. What matters is what you do from here. He's like, now you have an opportunity to do good work hard, impact people in a positive way, and change lives for the better, or you can waste your time, waste your money, and not amount to anything. So I really like that phrase, like really impacted me because it really like honed in on the fact that if you want to go to law school, be serious about it. If you want to go to law school, if you want to be an attorney, don't take the shortcuts, don't try to take the easy way out. Like be willing to get down and dirty, work hard, put in the time, the determination, the discipline to help people. Because at the end of the day, as you mentioned before, when you become a lawyer, other people's lives are literally in your hands, like their livelihoods, and especially in criminal cases, their very freedom, their liberty is at stake. So you have to take it very seriously. So that's one thing, that moment impacted me, because that taught me for early on, like, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is not a game. Take it seriously, work hard, want to help people, have a heart of love, of service, of compassion, of sympathy, of
Yeah.
empathy, because other people's lives are literally in the balance, and they're depending on you and your expertise and what you can bring to the table to be able to help them. So that for me just really, in a nutshell, like, memorialized everything that, that had been, expressed to me up to that point. Like, why you're here is what you do from here on out that matters. Work hard, make a difference, help people, or as you said, waste time, waste money, and not amount to anything.
Wow, I love that. I love that. That's quite memorable because just looking at that experience, it's almost like, I don't know. I'm just going into a Bible verse here,
Yes,
but
absolutely.
just but just as how Samuel was, like mentored under Elijah, and he had to just be there being schooled. A lot of everything that he was learning was a part of his journey to make an impact,
Definitely.
right? So I don't know how many people know of that story, but he was literally mentored and he was preparing as a prophet. He was literally being prepared. Overall, he was being prepared. And through your law school journey, it's that preparation time to make an impact. So you're not waiting until you finish law school to make an impact. You're starting there to get all, you're sowing the seeds there, right? Seed, that plant begins to uproot and it begins to grow and grow and grow and grow, right? So that is a different type of analogy and understanding that it starts from when you're in school. It's your preparation stage, it's your seed planting stage, right? That's the time you're watering your seed at that point of your life in order to make an impact later down in life, in your career. So that's
Absolutely.
important.
And I love the fact that you incorporated the Bible verse. Let me think of another Bible verse, the one plants, another waters, and the Holy Spirit brings the increase. Not only does that
Mm,
apply in the biblical sense, but it also applies in the practice of law. Like I said, you plant some, now whatever is the initial seed, whether it be, life experiences, family, friends, a traumatic event, whatever the case may be, whatever causes that seed to be planted, we're in a position to water it. We water it, we cultivate it, we take care of it, because that goes through, like, the time, the effort, the energy, the preparation, the studying, the working hard, the networking, the being under a mentor, like, taking and gleaning what they say and taking heed to the advice that they give. And the Holy Spirit will bring that increase, which will be the results, the favorable determinations, the favorable judgments, the cases won, being able to help people in an impactful way.
exactly. Amen. I just want persons to take that and just rest with it, sit with it. Let this resonate with you. This conversation has been amazing with attorney at law Carletta Traylor. And she has been giving all the juices and insightful things about law school, the law school journey, project cover, how it benefits law students, how it benefits young attorneys, how it even benefits the business operation for law firms. Listen, this conversation is just amazing. It's mind-blowing, the amount of information and juicy things that she provided. And so it doesn't stop here. We're having a part two. So stay tuned, because you're going to get a lot more information about the law school journey, about project cover. So stay tuned, and don't forget to like this video, share this video with a law student, share this video with a young lawyer, share it with a junior associate, share it with a law firm. Let them know about project cover and the benefits of project cover, that they have, like, networking, ongoing networking opportunities available at their fingertips on a monthly basis. This is super important and super beneficial to the legal field, persons in the legal field, right? So like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, people, and leave a comment about your law school journey, because you don't know how that can benefit someone else. So leave that comment there and share this video and subscribe. I'll see you in part 2 of the video. Bye guys.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is attorney Carletta Traylor. I currently operate my own law practice, Carletta & Traylor & Associates in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm reaching out to you all on behalf of Kyla Wright LPO Solutions and their Project Cover initiative. Project Cover is an innovative membership service in which law students are able not only to procure interviewing tools, resources, and practice, but they're also able to receive mentorship from a licensed attorney, as well as various networking opportunities with various attorneys across various different areas of the law. As for young attorneys, experienced attorneys, as well as law firms, it provides coverage. Let's say someone gets sick, someone resigns, someone is terminated from your organization. Project Cover will be able to send someone, whether it be an associate attorney, a law clerk, a paralegal, an intake specialist, you name it, they'll be able to send someone to be able to satisfy that coverage need, whether short-term or long-term, so business continues as usual, deadlines are met, cases are won, and clients are left happy. So if you have an opportunity to, please visit Kyla Wright LPO Solutions in the link below. Visit Project Cover. Sign up for your membership today. Thank you all so much.
So you heard it here. You can head on over to our website at www.kwrightlpo.com for more information about Project Cover. You can also access the Project Cover forms for law firms as well as legal professionals or law students. Also, you can access the forms in the description below. Thank you all and welcome to Project Cover.